This is the Macfox X7. And this is the Macfox X7 with the dual battery setup. These batteries are both 13 amp hours each, giving us a total of 26 amp hours in total, which will give us some decent range because this motor is 500 watts and peaks at 750, making this thing legal to ride pretty much anywhere you want. Now on their website, they say you get about 60 miles of range out of one battery, and with two, you double it to 120 miles of range. Realistically, you are going to get good range out of this bike. I don't think 120 miles good, but I think you're going to get at least 20 to 25 miles out of each battery due to the power this thing puts out. One of my favorite things on this bike is how huge these fat tires are. Obviously, fat tires are in style and they look really good on the road. Most of the time, they're 4 inches wide. This thing is 5 inches wide in the back and 4.5 inches wide in the front. You also get these very nice yellow big bold letters on the tires that look super cool when you're riding around, and it just adds to the style of this bike. I honestly think this is my most favorite part of the bike because this just stands out so much compared to how blacked out this bike is. It's a really good looking bike at the end of the day. Let me turn my lights on in the garage so you guys can see. Just look at this thing. It's all murdered out. Now if you don't want the black one, they make this in a dark blue, and they also make it in like an off-white color, so if you don't like the black. But I gotta say, if you guys do order this bike, black is the way to go. Here's a look at this headlight up front. It's really nice because you have this plate around it that hides all the cables. When you turn the bike on, you get a daytime running light, and with a dedicated headlight button right there, that turns on the main headlight, which looks pretty bright. So with the headlight switch off, your brake light doesn't stay on, but when you do hit the brake levers, it does pop on, so it's a nice safety feature. But if you do hit the headlight on, your brake light automatically comes on, and it also gets brighter when you push the brake lever, and it looks really, really bright. There's a lot of LEDs back there. Seriously though, there's really a lot of LEDs back there. Now let's go over some things on this bike really quick so we can take it out for a spin. We're almost there, guys. Standard traditional pedals and cranks. No gears on this bike. Keep in mind, it is a single speed. You got pegs for a passenger. The seat is long enough for 2 people, and it does definitely feel very soft. You have a nice handle in the back of this bike if you have to tie some rope and tow your friend that ran out of battery, or if you just want to move the bike around, it makes it a lot easier. You get 2 sets of keys for each battery, so you got one set right here and the other set over here. Keep in mind, these keys are not the same. So one key goes to the top battery and the other key goes for the bottom battery. Check out these grips. These things are fantastic. I normally have nothing good to say about grips. These are a Macfox brand, and they feel really good in the hands. Next to that is our thumb throttle, which is nice for safety. And here's your display on the left-hand side. I do wish this thing was color for the amount that you're gonna be paying for this bike. However, I am loving the BMX style handlebars they put this thing on because it just feels really good when you're riding, and a lot of room to put extra accessories all over these handlebars. Next to that display is your dedicated headlight switch right here. This is also for a low beam and a high beam. If you switch it to the middle, that turns off your light. And something I noticed on this bike is you can see that this bike is completely off right now, but you can actually get your headlight functioning and the brake light as well, even if the bike is not on. If your batteries are turned on, the lights will come on. Me personally, I think that's pretty cool because if you're trying to light up something, but you don't want your bike on just in case someone sits on it or hits the throttle and takes off with it or something like that, I think that's a pretty cool feature. Moving on down to the bottom of the bike, we got Macfox hydraulic brakes. It's very easy to take this front wheel off as well. You just need Allens, which a lot of people carry Allens in their backpack, so that is very nice. These are 180 millimeter rotors all around. Swinging back up to the top, you can see they're branded Macfox as well on the levers. And check this thing out. They do have little grips right here, so that is pretty cool that it's gonna feel texturized when you're riding. It just gives that extra little feel and safety to this bike. And if you need to, there are adjustment knobs right here, which if you adjust this, will make it get closer to the handlebars. If you push it in more, it won't go as close to the handlebars anymore. So I like the fact that there's some quick adjustments right there on the fly. Below that, we do have a compression knob right here. I'm gonna make this as soft as possible because if you looked, this bike does not have rear suspension. It only has front suspension. So I'm trying to be as comfortable as possible on this bike. And I'll definitely let you guys know how it feels when you take it off-road in a little bit. Moving to the other side on the left, you do have a preload. So you can adjust this based on your weight and everything like that. All right, so this is how I look sitting on the bike. This is the basic X7. This is not the X7L. If you're over 6 foot, you might want to go with the taller version, but I really like lower bikes because the lower center of gravity, especially if we have 2 batteries, one's kind of sitting a little high. It makes it feel better when most of the weight is low on the bike. But this is how I sit with 5'9", and I'm 163 pounds. No issue sitting on this bike. I do have the handlebars pushed a little bit far forward because I do have a long reach with my hands. But this feels really comfortable, especially the seat. The seat feels absolutely awesome. All right, other than that, guys, I think that's everything you guys need to know. Let's take this thing for a rip. Tater chip. All right, we got the speed meter up here. I reset everything, miles, everything. We're not gonna go super far in today's video. We will do a second video at night and kind of go over more of the range in that video. But today's just gonna be testing everything out. So let's turn the bike on. Display is pretty quick on coming on, maybe like half a second, and we're good to go. All right, here we go. Now, first and foremost, this is not going to be a very fast bike. If you guys are looking for a bike that hauls ass and adrenaline rush and scares the crap out of you and can get you in some trouble, this is not the bike for you. This bike is all about high quality and safety for kids getting back and forth to school or work or whatever. This is not a crazy bike. One of the reasons why I believe this bike came out to begin with is because there's so many laws cracking down on illegal bikes and kids getting them confiscated or doing crazy stuff, going 40, 50 miles an hour. And a lot of parents want to be able to buy their son or daughter a bike that is legal, follows all the rules of the road, and is really safety oriented, like great brakes, great grips. You will never really have to upgrade this bike, maybe put like a bag down here or something like that. But for the most part, this bike really feels good right out of the box. And I gotta say, it looks better than probably 9 out of 10 bikes in my garage right now. And here is the top speed of this bike in Assist 3. It goes about 24.9 miles an hour. My phone GPS says 25 exactly. So again, not the fastest bike ever. It's even slower than a Class 3 e-bike, because in California, you can go up to 28 miles an hour. But some other places are really, really regulated. So I'm okay with it if you're really looking for a safe bike more than anything. God damn, I think that was a tornado or something. At least I have these huge fat tires that hold me down to the ground. Now, talking about these tires, they look lovely. They have the huge logo on the side that stands out. And honestly, if you see this bike rolling down the street, you see that like logo rotating over and over, and it just draws attention to you. It is absolutely nice. It's like when people write with the little pins on the side of their car tires. It looks really cool when it's like riding around, right? What I am worried about these tires though is because they are so wide, they cover more patch of the road, and you can potentially pick up more stuff on the road, like nails, thorns, any type of debris that might puncture your tire. So it's a little concerning when you do have fatter tires. And one thing this bike doesn't have, you don't have any turn signals. But this is my first turn with the bike, and geez, man, this is a solid, like it feels real stiff in the front, but it feels so controllable. It really feels good. I'll put the weight of the bike down on the screen right now. It really feels light and nimble. It honestly just reminds me of a Super 73. Super 73s have got out of hand with their pricing and all that kind of stuff. They still look good, don't get me wrong. However, this thing looks good too. And it's not expensive as a Super 73. It's almost there though. It's not the cheapest bike on the market, especially what you're getting power-wise and everything like that. But if I was to buy my kid a bike for the first time and they never rode an electric bike, I actually think this is something I would pick up for my son, depending on their age and everything like that and their experience level. I think this would be a solid option for getting around safely. Let's go up on the curb real quick. Whee! Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, I haven't went off-road yet, but the suspension feels really good so far. Let's see how it does coming up here. Oh yeah, over that, no problem. Now let me show you guys the 0 to 25 mile an hour so you guys can see how fast this bike is. Pedal assist 3, that's the max you can go up to. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Has a little bit of a low start from 0 to 4, 0 to 5 miles an hour. It kind of takes a second. After that, it's decent. It's not that bad. That's 20 right there. So again, it's not a crazy slow bike, but it's definitely like nothing we've been reviewing lately. And here we go, 24 and about to hit 25. There's a lot of wind, but you're gonna be hovering around 24, 25 on this bike at all times. There we go. Go up the curb again real quick. Oh yeah, nice solid bike to go up the curb. No issues, man. I was a little worried with not having rear suspension, but I mean, for the road so far, it's been great. Oh, and we ran out of road. Nice. The road just ends. There's nowhere to go. All right, let's go this way. Oh, it's wet over here. I don't want to get mud on my brand new bike. Okay, well, this is where the suspension is gonna feel pretty rough now with not having that rear suspension. Woo! All right, with those big fat tires, we got some air right there, but yeah, If you're gonna take this thing off-road and it's really bumpy, yeah, not gonna be the best bike at all. Like, this is okay, but over there were some big dips and everything like that, and I was bouncing all over the place. You could even probably hear the chain as well. Wasn't ideal. The seat is nice, but it was so bumpy that the seat was coming and smacking me in the ass, and it didn't feel that great. Here comes more bumps. Oh my God. Oh, more bumps. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely make sure you stand up on this bike if you go off-road and hit a lot of stuff. Woo! Getting hit in the butt everywhere. Go, people, go. Why are you looking at me like that, lady? Oh, the tires are all dirty now. No. The bike was so clean, man. It was clean for about the first 4 miles. Now, a pleasant surprise, something I noticed on this bike is, after I did about 5 miles, is I don't hear anything from this bike. There's no motor noise at all. Like, yeah, maybe get up to speed, you can kind of hear the motor a little bit. But this thing, it makes the experience of riding this bike so much better. Not hearing any loud, like, chain noise or anything like that on a bike. It's really nice because I can hear everything around me. I can hear conversations. I can even talk to my buddy if I had someone riding next to me, which I have no friends, that's okay. But all jokes aside, that is nice when you have a bike that's just silent. You can take it everywhere. No one's gonna complain at all. It's just a nice thing. Oh, trying to block me out of my test, aren't you? All right, nope, not today. All right, so now we're gonna do our braking test. Normally do this at 28 miles an hour, class 3, but this is actually the first bike I've had that doesn't go 28 miles an hour. So I'm going as fast as I can. We're gonna brake right here. 1, 2, 3. Woo, all right. Really good stopping power. Obviously, we're going a little slower than we normally do in these tests, but I mean, I braked right there and I stopped right there. These tires grip up really good. I mean, way big contact patch. So, I mean, you're gonna stop pretty damn fast compared to other bikes on the market due to these huge fat tires. Because of the speed of this and the brakes they put on here, this is huge for safety if you have to stop in a matter of just a second or so to avoid getting hit. All right, so we're on some gravel right now, and you know what? These tires grip better than some of my dirt tires. No, these things really do grip up really well. That is awesome. You can see some other people have been out here. I see some tire tracks, so I'm not the only one riding out here having a good time today. Yeah, I really can't complain with these tires on the gravel. I really can't. I mean, it's handling this no problem. I don't feel like I'm gonna wash out or nothing. Now, here comes the test I'm a little worried that this bike's not gonna be able to do. So I'm gonna do it with throttle only for one time and see if it even makes it up this thing. If it does, I'll tell you the mile per hour we end up at when we get to the top. And then if it doesn't make it or whatever, we'll come back. We'll do it with the pedals as well. So I'll help it assist it up this hill. Let's see what it does. I'm kind of worried because it doesn't have so much power. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, it's going. I guess if you live in San Francisco, don't buy this bike. I mean, it's climbing the hill. Don't get me wrong. It's doing it at a slow pace. It's gonna take you a while. All right, we still got up at 8 miles an hour. All right, turned to 9, but I had already let off. All right, here we go. I'm gonna use the pedals with the single gear that we have because there is no gears up here. Here we go, throttle and pedals. This should be a lot better. Should definitely be able to help it. These are kind of what bikes are made for anyway. You're supposed to use the pedals and the throttle. And here we go, what is that, about like 12 miles an hour almost? About 11. So we picked up a few speed, you know, using the pedals. Let's see how it does the jumping part. I'm not gonna let off. Whoa, holy crap. The front lifted up so much, almost popped a wheelie out of that thing. Do that one more time. I'll make sure to balance my weight a little bit better. The front must be very light. Oh, there we go. Perfect weight balance right there. Probably caught about like 2 feet of air. That wasn't too bad. Now what I'm riding on right now is moderately bumpy. And I mean, it's still holding 25 miles an hour. It's not struggling at all. Whoa. Oh, hit the front brake a little too hard right there. Oh man, I'm glad these tires are wide enough to grip it. Those were some like 2-inch wide tires. I think I would have went down just now. All right, how is our bridge test? I feel like these handlebars are pretty long. Yeah, they're decently long, and I really do like that because you have more control the wider the handlebars are, at least to me anyways. And I love the fact that I have so many places to put accessories if I want an extra light, which I believe that light is pretty efficient. It's probably gonna look really good in our second video, but you can just put so many extra things everywhere. You also have these bolts down here to put a big bag or whatever you want, or maybe even put a battery. No, the battery doesn't fit right here. That'd be cool, but it won't. All right, we're coming up to the deep sand right here. Woo, woo. If you live at the beach, that's what it feels like. It's all over the place. Is this how you get into the dog park? I can get in here. I got that dog in me. Oh, I'm locked out. Oh, man. Big barks. Must be 25 pounds or greater to play in this area. Oh, this is the one for me then. Nope, still locked out. What the hell? Something I think you guys will like on this bike, and a lot of people probably don't care about this, but look at the turning radius on this thing. It turns pretty wide, so if you had to back it up or move it in your garage or whatever, I love the fact that it turns more than just a 45-degree angle. It almost goes 90 degrees. The next thing I like to test out on these bikes is a throttle response and the pedal response. So let's try out the throttle real quick. So we're rolling. We're doing about 20 miles an hour roughly. We hit it, 1, 2, 3. About a, what is that, 2-second delay. I'll do that one more time. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe a 1.5 second delay roughly. It's definitely not instant, and it's definitely over probably a second delay. It's not bad. It's a good safety thing, but I do like when it's a little bit quicker, just depending on, you know, where you're at, if you got to move out of the way quickly because of a car or a situation, a person, dog, whatever. So it is a little laggy on the throttle. Get back up to about 20 again. Now let's test out the pedals. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right. Maybe a little bit more delay than the throttle, but I'm okay with that on the pedals because I always hate coming up to a light, accidentally moving the pedals just a smidge, and all of a sudden the bike just takes off on you. Now, of course, this bike doesn't have all that power to do that, but still, you could go down either way if your bike takes off without you on the handlebars or knowing it's gonna do that. So I'll do that one more time. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all right. I gotta say, maybe it's as closer than I thought to the throttle response. It's still delayed about 1.5 seconds. Now, how does it feel pedaling this thing? I like the fact that it didn't feel like the pedals were coming that close to the ground. I'm 5'9", and yeah, my knees come up like kind of high, but it still feels nice. The seat is, you know, making it feel better. The seat though is, however, wide, so depending on your leg situation and how you're built, it might rub on your thighs just a little bit, but for me, I'm loving the seat combo. I'm loving where the pedal position's at. It's perfect for me at 5'9", no complaints. And again, this is not the L version. This is just the X7, not the L. Only buy the L if you're probably 6 foot and above. So now what I'm gonna do is go through all the modes on the display. So right now we have our odometer, which is the total miles on the bike, just like your car would have that. You got your trip, so my total trip is 7.3 miles, and that is fantastic because right here, 7.3. 100% accurate to what this is reading, and that seemed to be true because the mile per hour is exactly the same as well. So that is good on Macfox for having the exact same range that you're going to get on the bike that matches up with GPS. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Macfox, for getting that correct. A lot of bike companies don't get that correct. Next thing is you can go in the voltage. So right now we're sitting at 49.9 volts, and I went 7.5 miles since I charged these batteries. The next thing is odometer. Okay, so that's it. I thought we were gonna have some extra stuff on there, like the time I've been on the bike and, you know, some other things to look at, maybe amperage or wattage, but no, we don't have none of that information. Now to get into the advanced settings is a plus and minus button. I wonder if we can do that while we're riding. Oh yeah, it looks like we can, all right. So the code should be 6666. I'm gonna do that and see if we can do it while riding. There we go, all right, you can get into the P settings while riding. That is awesome. Now to get in the P settings, when you do hold the plus and minus, you do have to hold the power button, just keep in mind. And then if you gotta get out of those settings, just hold the plus and minus to get out of there. But yeah, make sure you hold the power button to get in that setting because you can't just type in 6666 and then hit the power button once. It will just go back to the first number. So you gotta hold the power button after you enter that code in. Road's closed, but we're taking the sidewalk, baby. Can't block me from walking or riding my bike over here. I don't really know why it was closed. It's only really that side they were working on, not this side. What the heck, man? Let's cut through here, go over the curb a little bit. These massive tires, man, you'll go over a bunch of stuff with these tires. Pretty much go everywhere. Look at that. my God, just monster trucking over a bunch of stuff. Well, I gotta say, even though the bike isn't impressive speed-wise, I am very happy with the components on this. Now, with the price of this bike coming in at $2,000 with the dual battery setup and about $1,600 or $1,599 with the single battery, which I highly recommend you get both batteries if you don't want any range anxiety, but realistically, it's a 500 watt motor, so a 13 amp hour battery is almost gonna feel like a 20 amp hour battery with a bike that has like 1,500 watts, you know? So you're gonna get good range out of one battery, but if you don't want range anxiety and you wanna go super far, get two. I haven't even went down a single battery bar, so I don't even know what to expect for our second video. Here's some things I think this bike should have had for the price point though. Rear suspension would have been nice. No rear suspension makes the bike and frame feel very solid. However, it is bumpy when you want to go off-road. Another thing is, this display is super cheap. I really think they should have had a color display, maybe a display that was right in the middle of the handlebars, just something nicer. It's not like this thing's bad. I can read everything I need to read on it, but it's always nice when they come with something, you know, a little bit more high-tech and high-end, especially for this price. All the other stuff, the components on it are really good. I mean, it's kind of a basic fork suspension up front, but I mean, I didn't have any problems with the suspension up front. All the cable management is great. The handlebars are great. The braking system is absolutely fantastic. I love it. These brakes stop really good, and because the tires are so fat, you don't slide. These tires lock up. They have a lot of grip. And you do have adjustments as well on the front suspension and all that kind of stuff. And I love the fact that how easy it is to take the front wheel off. It's just two Allens. You can put like an Allen set in your backpack. If you get a flat or whatever out on the road, you can switch it out really easy. The seat is really comfortable. You do not need a seat upgrade. You got some bolts right here to put an extra bag or some type of accessory right here that you want so you don't have to carry a backpack everywhere you go. And overall, this bike does look unique. Now, you could say it looks like a Super 73, yes, but it's not expensive as a Super 73. And I really think it looks the part. One other thing I think they should have added, maybe not in the rear because it would have looked a little funny, or maybe it had something like coming out right there, but a front fender would have been nice. Now, it really does look good without a front fender, but I mean, if you're gonna go through a lot of puddles and mud and off-roading, I mean, I could already see splashes all over the battery and all up here, so having fenders on the bike would have been a nice touch. Maybe they sell those extra on their website, I'm not sure. And here's what I'm gonna leave you guys off with. If you are a crazy enthusiast, you love bikes, you know how to ride them, you love electric dirt bikes, or you just love going fast, this is hands down not the bike for you, not even close. But if you're a parent or someone that wants their kid to get into a bike and have some fun and be safe and make sure all the components are really good on it so it protects them as much as possible. I mean, the lighting system on this bike alone is worth riding it at night and being safe. I would say you guys are the market for this thing, especially if your son is a lot more younger and it's his first e-bike. This is hands down a very good option over a Super 73. Just take it with a grain of salt though, guys. This is not going to be the fastest bike out there, especially for the money and everything like that. So hopefully that helped you guys if you were looking at this bike and thinking about buying it. I mean, I'm kind of impressed by just the overall looks of it and everything on it. It's just not fast. That's all I can say. I'll see you guys in the next one when we do the night riding footage and add on to our range as well. And I will see you and figure out what the hell this car is doing because I don't want to die. See you guys in the next one. There's a lot of construction over here. Holy shit. I don't want a nail. Hopefully I don't get a nail. And if you guys were curious to know, I did exactly 10 miles on my phone and the voltage is at 50.5 volts and our miles on here said 10.1, so that is pretty accurate. Still got a lot of battery life to go through, that's for damn sure.